Turns out there may be a silver lining for many of us living here in the United States. And business analyst and meteorologist Paul Walsh joins us to talk about it. Thanks for joining us this morning, Paul. And from an economic perspective, will this year's El Nino be a monster or perhaps just a molehill?
Well, Paul, it's a great question, and I think the Godzilla meme that's out there now is, well, the El Nino will be a monster. I don't think it's going to be a Godzilla-like monster. It'll be more like the Blob. So we'll see impacts impacting the entire globe in a kind of a slow, progressive way. For the U.S., however, while we're going to see some negative impacts, I think a lot of people will be surprised to know that there actually may be some pretty significant positive impacts when we have an El Nino winter and spring.
All right, let's lay it out, Paul. What are those economic silver linings?
Well, Maria, as you know, typically when you have an El Nino like we're in now, we'll continue to have for the balance of winter and spring, you tend to have winters that are relatively mild, and you also tend to see a lot of precipitation in California. So what that means is that there's going to be more people actually outside and spending money, and according to the IMF, for this year, that El Nino could benefit the U.S. economy by about $100 billion. So there's definitely a silver lining to what we're seeing now.
So what kind of businesses will really be helped by this El Nino, Paul?
Well, I think a lot of folks that like to ski will be happy to hear this. Typically what happens when you have an El Nino, you have, of course, a lot of precipitation in the southwest, which means ski resorts in the southern half of California and Arizona, New Mexico, even parts of Colorado, tend to have really, really good years. From a retail spending perspective, more people are out, they're spending money, so it boosts the economy. And, of course, California agriculture, which has just been plagued by this drought for the last 4 years, is going to see benefit by the resumption of rains. It may not completely eradicate the drought, but any little bit helps at this point.
Food for thought. Paul Walsh, as always, thanks for your perspective on this, quote, Godzilla or Blob. I think I like yours better, Paul, the Blob, El Nino. But, we could do a whole show just on El Nino and potential impacts and how it's different, how it's the same. So